of identifying potential qualified candidates and encouraging them to apply for jobs that exist in an organization. So we are saying we are encouraging potential qualified, because during recruitment, all what is done at times, in most cases, is putting in an advert, targeting as many people as possible. You may only need 2 people, but during recruitment, you target as many people as possible, so that when you go to the next step, which is selection, on getting the 2 people now, you have a wider scope, or you have a wider pool of people of different skills, of different experiences that you are to select from. And the bigger the pool, the likelihood, the bigger or the higher the likelihood of getting the very best from the market. So the higher the pool, so the higher, or the more you are likely to, the more you are able to attract as many people as possible during recruitment, the higher the chances of getting the best during selection. So we are going to look at 2 main sources of recruitment, and these are usually internal sources and external sources. We are going to look at each one of them, then look at the advantages and the disadvantages of each one of them. Starting with internal source, as the word say internal, these are sources that are within the organization, or rather people are recruited who are already within the organization. But how does it happen? They could be people in the organization, the one that you are calling present employee, and they are permanent. They couldn't be temporary. Permanent are people who are there until retirement. Temporary are people who are there maybe for 2 years, they're on contract, 2 years, 1 year, that way. Casuals are people who usually come to the organization when there's something to be done. They can be there for a day and they are paid at the end of the day. They can be there for a week. After the assignment they are doing, then they are no longer there. So they can be these people. A permanent person can be recruited internally for a higher position, for a higher level position. And a temporary person can be recruited to an organization now for a permanent position, or even for a higher job than he was doing. Casuals, the same way. So this is one source, people already in the organization. Still, we can have people who have retired or are initially retrenched, coming back to the organization and they are rehired. But in this case, one thing you need to note, when retired people come back, they can no longer be employed as permanent. They can usually they come in and they are employed under contract, like 2 years, 5 years, that way. But it is a source, and we are calling it internal because these are the people who already were members of this organization, or they worked with the organization. So they are treated as internal. Another category, not very common in Kenya, but you see it in some countries, or even you see, I see this much in politicians happening, dependents and relatives of the deceased and the disabled employee. So a person dies, then a relative is taken. So that is another source. It can be another source, although not very much practiced in Kenya. So those are the sources of internal recruitment. Let us look at the advantages. Or you can tell me, please, you can type one advantage which you think can come out of recruiting people from within the organization? Which advantage do you think an organization can get, or an advantage that employees will have out of the organization having internal recruitment? Just one, then I'll give you others. One advantage, you can type. So I can give you advantages, then you tell me the disadvantages. You tell me the disadvantages. The advantages of recruiting people from within or through internal recruitment. Sorry. One is that the morale and the motivation of employees improve when they are assured that they wouldn't be preferred in filling up vacancies at a higher level. So people within the organization, they will not like people from outside to come before they are considered. If an organization is able to consider its employees first, rather than now putting the advert for all people, if they only put for their employees first, the people within the organization really get motivated because they feel the organization cares for them, because there's a higher likelihood of them getting the job than when it is external and they are competing with all people, maybe from all over the country. So the morale, and there's also motivation, because there's high chances of them getting higher level jobs. Another advantage is that suitability of existing employees can be judged better as records of their qualification and performance is already available in the organization. So people who have been working already with the organization, they are already known by the organization. They have their records, they have their performance record, they have their weaknesses. They know already their weaknesses. And then, now when they've been judging, when they during recruitment, already they know these people. At times, when you're recruiting people from outside, you have really to do something that is called a background check. At times, even to check whether these even certificates are real or fake. But in this case, already you have been with these people and you know them. So the process is easier, and also you can do the selection process. There's a high likelihood of getting the right person for the position because you know these people already. It promotes loyalty and commitment among employees due to the sense of job security and opportunity for their advancement. This one is almost related to point number one, because now when employees, loyalty is that, it's that in a situation that now employee even may not feel like moving out of the organization. They may feel like staying with the organization for a very long time because they have that loyalty. And that loyalty will come due to the fact that the organization is able or is considering them for higher level job before they think of people outside. Present employees are already familiar with the organization and the policies. So the time and the cost of orientation and the training are low. Orientation is that process new employees are taken through. It is also called induction. So even new student, when you are new, you are taken through this process, orientation program, and also new employees are also taken through this process. So we are saying when employees have been recruited from within the organization or internally. There is no need for orientation because these are the people who are already there and they know the place, they know other people. There is no need of much training, especially the training maybe on the training that usually accompany orientation, or could it be training on safety? These employees were already working there, so they already know. So there's no need of much of this. Let's look at some more. Time and expenditure of recruitment is reduced as there's little need for advertising the vacancies. So during internal recruitment, there is no need of putting the advert on the newspapers. All you can do is put the advert maybe in the company's website, or you can even put into individual employees' email. So this one is able to save the company from the cost of advertising. So it is less expensive because people are already within the organization. Another advantage, relations with the trade unions becomes good as union encourage promotion from within. These are trade unions. You find them usually representing many employees. So, and what they advocate for is their people that for the people that they are presenting to be considered. So when an organization has a policy of internal recruitment, trade union is very happy because it knows the people that it is presenting are catered or are taken care of. The people they are presenting are considered first. So the relations of trade union and the management becomes cordial or good. Be thinking of disadvantages. Another advantage, filling higher level jobs through promotion from within helps to retain talented and ambitious employees. So an organization is able to retain these people. Retain is to keep them within the organization so that they don't go to look for higher level or higher paying job from other companies. If there is promotion from within, these people will not go to other companies. They will remain within the organization. And remember, if they are talented or they have special skills, that one will benefit the organization. So I think that is the last one. Can you tell me one disadvantage you think of recruiting people from within, of recruiting through internal source? Just one disadvantage. You can type. I can see you are not able to talk. You can type. Since it can be difficult to embrace new boss, especially if the new boss is a new recruit from within. Okay, results in an inflexible culture. Yeah, I agree with the culture because now it remains the same. If you keep on recruiting the same people with the same culture, at times it's not so good. So you can go to them. I agree. No external scale. I agree, Omondi, because now if you keep on rotating the same people, there is no likelihood of you getting new skills or even new ways of doing things. At times, you may see you recruiting people, and they bring in even the secrets of other organizations. So those are some of the disadvantages, I agree. So we can go through them. And they are based on what you have just said. It discourages the flow of new blood into the organization. So what it means is it's not the real blood, but rather people coming in with new skills, new ideas, new ways of doing things, and even at times even neutralizing the culture. The culture of the organization may be not very good. So if you keep on rotating the same people, you may not be able to change that culture. So it discourages this flow of new blood, which is all about the skills, new ideas. The choice of selection is restricted. That is another disadvantage. You only be restricted to people who are within the organization. And sorry to say, they may not be the best. They may not have the best skills. You are likely to get better skilled people if you do it on a wider scope of people. Maybe it's not, if it is more wider, you are likely to get better people. So you are restricted. Another disadvantage, not all vacancies can be filled up from promotion from within. Do you agree? It is true. If you need a very high level skilled person and you have no person with that competence or that skill, who are you going to recruit? So for some vacancies where you have people with the right skill on that field, it is not the best it is not the best source, because not all vacancies you find there are gaps. People within the organization that don't have the right skill. Another disadvantage, this source of recruitment is not suitable to newly established enterprises. So if the company is new, where are you going to get people to recruit from within or internally from? If the company is new or the organization is new, you need to recruit people from outside. Because after all, there are no people from within. So those are some of the disadvantages. We can go to the other source, external source of recruitment. And this is the recruitment that is done from outside, or it is done to capture people who are outside the organization. But I can add something about this. An advertisement can be done externally, but if a person within the organization feels you can competitively or you have the skill to compete with others and you are within the organization, you can fill in or you can apply for the position, but you compete with the people from all over the country or from the source. If it was an advert was maybe targeting the whole country, you have to compete with all the people all over the country. So it does not limit a person from within or from a person from the organization from applying if you feel you can compete. So what are the advantages of having an external recruitment? These are some of the advantages. People with the proper skills, education, and training are obtained. So you are more likely, just like the way you told me, you are more likely to get people with better skills because the scope of selection or the scope will be wider and you'll be able to capture more people. And the wider the scope or the pool, the more likely of getting the best skills from that pool. So you are likely to get proper skills and education and the training. As recruitment is done from a wider market, so it's just what I've said, best selection can be made irrespective of sex and religion. So since it is a wider market or a wider scope, you are likely to get the best of the best from the market. Expertise and experience from other organizations can be broad. But this is what I was talking about. You may recruit people, they have been working with very well-known companies, and they'll come and tell you, this is what company ABC does their thing. That is why they are successful. This is the way they do their things. So they will bring in expertise and also experience from other organizations, which may benefit the company or the organization. So it is good at times. You see now the company benefiting out of that. If you had recruited people from within, this won't lack. It helps bring in new blood and the new ideas to the organization. Sorry, this is what you are saying. If you recruit from external or from within, from without, from outside the organization, you are likely to bring people with new ideas into the organization. And even at times, new culture. If you're able to employ more of these people in the organization, and the culture of the organization was not very good, they may come and neutralize that culture. And you find now a new culture developing in the organization, which may benefit the organization. External sources are the best when suitable people are not available from within. So this one I also agree. When people are not, when people within the organization are not qualified, when people within the organization don't have the right skill, they are not qualified, the only option is going external. Going external, you are now likely to get people with the right skills. Disadvantages? Can you give me one disadvantage? One disadvantage, please, of recruiting people outside the organization. Think of it, think from the advantages that we gave from internal recruitment. Those ones, most of them will, first of all, we found employees will be motivated. We found that there will be loyalty. So can you come with a disadvantage out of that? Out of the advantages that we gave, that you can easily get yeah, it is time consuming and also expensive and costly. I agree. It is expensive, time consuming, and costly. So I agree, because now you have to put an advert for that. Other disadvantages, yeah, even it's my first point, it's more expensive and time consuming. A limited understanding of the organization. Yeah, these people are new, they have not been working with the organization, so they have no idea of what goes on in the organization. So when you recruit them, as John is saying, you need to take them through the orientation and also training, which is also an extra time for the organization and also cost. So it is more expensive and time consuming, just as you have told me, to recruit people from outside due to detailed screening, as very little is known about these candidates. Employee orientation and training is necessary because, as John just said, they have very little or limited understanding of the organization. So you have to take them through orientation and the training so that they can acquire this skill or knowledge. If higher level jobs are filled from external source, motivation and the loyalty of existing staff is affected. You see now, we said internal recruitment was motivating to employees, but this one now will be demotivating. When now new people come and they meet people from who are running the organization, they may feel motivated. They may feel that they were not considered first before maybe doing it externally. So what happens after selection process? Recruitment. Recruitment is where you attract as many people as possible. Maybe the post requires 5 people, but during recruitment, you may see even maybe 500 have applied for that position. How do you end up with the 5? You end up with the 5 through the process called selection. Selection is that process that you use in order to pick the best of the applicants. So it is the process of matching the qualification of the applicants with the job requirements, as well as the process of weeding out unsuitable candidates. So you can use various methods in order to do that. And that is what we are calling selection tools. Selection tools is what you can use in order now that you have 500 applicants, how do you end up with the 5? It is through any of these methods. You go on weeding people, or let's say eliminating people until you are left with the best 5. And you can use any of these methods. One of the methods is preliminary interview. This one, I'll give an example of what happens during police recruitment. During police recruitment, preliminary interview, during that recruitment, they require a person who is quite physically fit. Physically fit. And during that, when you do preliminary interview, it is the initial screening which is done to weed out totally unqualified candidates at onset. So it helps to reduce this, or it is an elimination process, and you find many people may be eliminated at this stage. For example, if it is a job that requires a degree, maybe a degree in a Bachelor of Mathematics and Computer Science, and the people who have applied, you find the majority of diplomas. So preliminary interview is whereby you don't even allow these people to go through another step. You eliminate all those with diplomas, and you are left maybe with 100 that have the degree. That is the very initial stage. Application blank. After now you pass this stage, you go to the next one, which is application. You are given a form. When we talk of application, blank is a form. Other people call it application form. And you fill in many information about yourself, about your education, about your experience, about maybe you fill in many information about yourself. And what happens when when this information is given, it can also be used as an elimination tool. Because whatever you are written in that, information that you have written in that form can help sieve or eliminate further. So from this blank, you'll have written about your education, experience, references, and maybe even age. So if you look at this form and you required a person maybe between the age of 30, maybe it's a senior position, and you require a person who is mature, who is around maybe 30 to 40, and you look at, you'll be able to eliminate a number of people, maybe based on age. You look at education, you require a person with a degree, maybe in this area or that area. You'll still be able to eliminate people using that. Experience, you'll still be able to eliminate people using that. So the poll goes on reducing. Selection text is another method. Maybe you have heard of this. There are several, there are so many of them, but maybe the one that I can give you an example is the one that it's called ability test. Ability test. You say you can, so like you people, you can say, I'm able to use computer, I can do programming, I can do this, I can do this. I can really design maybe a very good program. So now you are taken through the test. You are given a program now to design. Are you able to do that? That is, people are eliminated at that at that stage. Maybe it's a secretaries and say you had written in your application blank or in your letter that you can type using a certain speed, a very high speed. You are given a document to type and it is tested whether really you are able to achieve that. So selection tests are also very important. It's a tool that is used to eliminate people. Then one that is very common is employment interview. People are taken through the interview and they are checked, or they are taken through the panel and they asked questions and they are judged according to how they answer these questions. After the interview, this one is also there, medical examination. People who have qualified, they have to be taken through a medical examination. But this one, let me say, it's not that you can lose your job at this stage, but it's just to check. At times, there are these diseases which are highly transmissible, so it's just for precaution. After that, you are given your referees. They can now check your information using the referees that you are given. At times, if your referee gives very bad information about you, but in most cases, what happens, people give referees or the names of the referees that they know. They know very well and they know they can't give bad information, but still it can be used as an elimination tool. So those are some of the tools that can be used in selection. We can know what we mean by the terminology placement, then induction, so that you can go to training. Placement, now, after now being selected, placement is where you are assigned job to do. For example, if there are two secretaries who are recruited or selected, and the one is fresh from college, another one is really experienced, has been working for a long time, the one who is experienced may be the one to be taken to higher level office than the one who is just fresh from college and has less experience. Induction, after now you are placed, you are taken through something called induction or orientation. And the orientation is that process of introducing new employees to the organization. So something else I want us to cover Training. We're only going to look at the importance of training. And the training, you find this very common in organization. Managers will need to keep on training their employees now and then so that to improve their skills. So training is very important skill that is important to employee, and it means it is a way of acquiring right skills and attitude in order to undertake job effectively. So now, what are importance of training? Why should an organization waste its resources? Training its employee, and you know it is an expensive venture. What benefits does an organization get out of training its employee? So we'll see, one, there is higher productivity. Training may lead to higher productivity. It helps improve the level of performance. So when you train a person on maybe the way job performance, is able now to improve his performance. And when employees improve their performance, that is a benefit to the organization because now they become more productive. So trained employees perform better by using better methods of work, because during now training, you train them on the good methods of carrying out a task. When they're able to follow these rules, they perform better, and that is for the benefit of the organization. So one importance of training, it leads to higher productivity. Better quality of work is another importance of training, better quality of work. So you can imagine, you can assume a person who has never been trained doing a particular task and another one who is trained, who is likely to give a better quality of work. Trained employees are less likely to make operational mistakes. So that one is for the benefit of the organization. It's for the benefit of the employee himself. Because now he has better skill, he knows how to do the thing, he has been trained how to use better methods of doing the work, so he's likely to do a mistake, or it reduces the error. There's likelihood of making an error, and that is for the benefit of the organization and also the employee. There's less learning periods. A systematic training program helps to reduce the time and the cost involved in learning. So what this means, at times, an employee who has gone through a formal training, at times there are things that people even train themselves through guesswork, through trial and error. And it takes a lot of time for you to learn through guesswork or trial and error that skill. But if when you are taken through a systematic training, you learn the aspect, you learn the skill very fast. So you take less time to learn when you are taken through a training. So that is what it means. Cost reduction. Training helps to reduce cost in an organization. How? How does training help reduce cost in an organization? Trained employees make more economical use of materials and machinery. So you see now, since they know they have been trained how to operate these machines, they will not keep on breaking them. They will not keep on maybe making errors, and then there are wastages. Out of those errors, wastages arise, which will lead to costs. So reduction in wastage and spoilage and increase of productivity helps to minimize cost of operation per unit. Reduced supervision is another importance of training. Of course, this is self-explanatory. A person who knows what he is doing, there's no need of much supervision. There's no need of supervising this person so much because already this person is able to do, he knows what he's supposed to do. But for a person, you see, he doesn't know how to do, he have no idea of how something is done. That is where you find the supervisor checking how this person is doing his work, checking or correcting him or her, guiding him or her. But in a situation whereby you have trained people and they have gained the skill, there will be no much need of supervising them so much. So well-trained employees tend to be self-reliant and motivated. They need less guidance and control. Just a moment. Or it grows through the career faster. Organizational climate, it is the industrial relations improves. Organization climate is that it's all about the relationship between the management and the employees. It improves through training, because we say training also changes attitude. Training is also even supposed to change attitudes of the people. So employees who have been taken through proper training, you see in the organization, there's that cordial relationship. Okay. Finally, let us go through something called motivation. Motivation is very important for a manager. It's very important for a manager to have motivated employees. Sorry, I want us to do motivation next. So I have said it's very important for a manager to have a motivated staff, because a motivated staff is a productive staff. If you have most of employees who are demotivated, that is very, very bad for a manager, because they may have the employees may have the right skills, they may have the right competence, but if they are not motivated, then they are not as productive. So motivation is the desire to act or move towards a goal. What makes you make an effort to move towards a particular goal? It's all about motivation. That effort that an individuals put moving towards a particular goal, that is what we call motivation. Motivating other people is about getting them to move in the direction you want them to go in order to achieve results. So this is now how a manager does it. It's through motivating others. And he is able to motivate employees using various ways that we are going to look at just in a moment. So let us look at some of these ways that a manager can use to motivate his employees. So some of these ways: making subordinates feel valued. Making subordinates feel valued. Employees like it when they feel the organization is putting some value to them. They are valuing them. So how can this one be done? This can be done by showing interest in whatever they hold as important. So if employees, like for example, value training, are they given training? If employees value maybe they value maybe having interactions or maybe having a welfare to take care of them, are they given that? Or does the manager show some interest in that? Creating an atmosphere of approval and cooperation. So also in a situation whereby you, as a manager, you are friendly, not rather that friendly, but you are approachable. You are approachable. And at times, employees it may make employees feel more motivated when they are having a manager who is more approachable than the one who is not approachable. Other times, remember the point we talked about training, the one we called organization climate. What is their relationship? What is the relationship between you as a manager and the employee? Because at times when the relationship is not so good, then that is when that feeling of not being valued comes in. So one way of motivating employees is making them feel valued. Another way of motivating employee is providing scope of development. Employees want to develop. Employees want to grow. Employees want to move through the ladders of the organization. That is to grow career-wise. Are they able to get that? As a manager, are you able to provide some hope in this? Because if you're able to provide some hope in this direction, then employees will be motivated. How can a manager do that? One is by setting targets for all the subordinates. You set targets for each one of them. And when you set targets, remember now they'll put a lot of effort so that they can be able to achieve whatever targets has been set for them. It will motivate them because they'll put some effort that will make them achieve those targets. So setting targets for employees will motivate them as they'll put more effort to achieve those targets. Again, is by providing training. There's something called on the job and off the job, but you can call it just training, providing training for the employees. On the job is that training that is done as employees' work. Off the job is that training that is done to employees, usually away from the workstation, like when you take employees for seminars or conferences away from the workstation. But if you just say, an organization that is able to provide training motivates employee, it motivates employee because first of all, employees will feel or they'll be able to grow career-wise, and that is what they want. They'll be motivated to work for this organization because they'll feel it values them. Again, even by providing the training for employees, it makes them better. They're able to perform whatever tasks or whatever targets you have set for them, they are able to achieve them better. So that is another way of motivating employees. Let's look at some more ways. Recognizing achievement. Employees want to be recognized. Or you can motivate employees as a manager by recognizing achievement of your subordinates. How do you recognize this achievement? You can recognize this achievement by praising and communicating individual success. So remember, you had set targets for these employees. After you set targets and you have done evaluation of how these employees have performed, and you have found some individual employees have performed so well, do you communicate that success to them and even praise them? That is a way of motivating them to work harder next time. Another way of motivating employees is regularly holding meetings to monitor and cancel on individual progress towards target. So when you hold meetings, you are able to discuss issues that are there. You are able to cancel in case individuals feel they underperformed, and this will motivate them so that next time they'll put more effort. Another way is providing challenge. Employees like challenge and it can motivate. When you provide challenge, it is a motivating factor. Providing challenge by providing scope for individual to take greater responsibility. So when an employee is given a greater responsibility, remember what we talked about during delegation, where an employee can be given on duties, some of the duties of the senior person can be delegated to you. That is a challenge, and that can motivate you to put in more effort. So other ways that a manager can motivate employees is by matching people's skills with relevant job. You ensure that people are doing or they are given tasks that are in line which are in line with the skill that they possess, not giving employees something that they have no skill on. So you match the people's skill and the job. That one will motivate them, because at that moment, they will be doing what they know. They will be doing what they like. Another one is linking rewards with performance, whereby employees who are able to perform better, employees who are very productive at work, they are the ones getting more rewards, just like the way sales people do. The more you're able to sell, the more rewards you get in form of commission. If this is done, it will really motivate people, linking rewards with performance. Because now people will be working towards getting, the more they perform, they will know they will get more of the rewards. And the rewards can be monetary or non-monetary. Checking the system for equity is another way of motivating employees, because employees are really demotivated by a system that they feel is not, let's say, just, and also if they feel the system is not, it's not providing equity, they are really, really demotivated. But in a situation where the system is failed to be providing equity and fairness, then really employees feel motivated. And finally, a manager can motivate employees through recognizing money as a potential motivator. Of course, you know, employees nowadays are very much motivated by money, and that will come in form of maybe promotion. It can come in form of sharing bonuses with the employee, and doing other things. Finally, I want us to do something on motivation. I want us to end with a theory, a very well-known theory of motivation. We'll just cover one: Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy theory. This is a theory on motivation by somebody by name Abraham Maslow. So we are going to look at this theory. It is one of the most mentioned theory of motivation, and it is called, it is the hierarchy of needs theory. So hierarchy, we shall see why it is called hierarchy of needs, because it goes on depending on the need. We start with the basic needs at the bottom there, and it is also saying you can only go to the next level after the needs of the level that you are in are fulfilled. After you fulfill those needs is when you go to the next level or hierarchy of needs. Maslow saw human needs in form of hierarchy, ascending from the lowest to the highest. As he concluded that when one set of need is satisfied, this kind of need ceases to be a motivator. So once you are through with the needs that are at the bottom there, they are no longer useful. All you need, you are motivated now to go to the next level of needs. As per this theory, let's see now these needs. Let's look at the diagram. That is how it is. The very basic one is physiological needs. They're at the bottom, and you can see this is a pyramid. So this is where most of the people are. That is where you can see it is occupying a larger portion than when self-actualization, which is at the top there, because not many people have reached here. And they say not many people actually get to this point. So physiological needs are down there. Then we go to safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and then self-actualization. You can see it's very small at the top there. And I've said it's because not many people get to this level of aspiring to be self-actualized. You'll see most of the people struggling at this first level. You get many people struggling at this first level. So let us go through what happens to each level. Physiological needs. These are important needs for sustaining the human life. So they are the basic. That is why I said they are basic. So you find here it's about food, water, warmth, shelter, sleep, medicine, education. They are all basic. That is what you find there. They're very, very important things in life. So you find there are people only now trying to satisfy physiological needs, and you can't think of going to security or safety needs before you have these physiological needs. Maslow was for the option that until these needs were satisfied to a degree to maintain life, no other motivating factor can work. So meaning you can't even think of going to the next level until you are comfortable that you are satisfied with these needs. So after person has now fulfilled these needs, that is when now you get motivation for something higher, and that is security or safety needs. That is now when a person gets motivated to move to these other needs. So remember these physiological needs, and we are talking about management. A manager can fulfill physiological needs for his employee by providing a salary that he feels will be able to cater for employees' basic needs. An employee is able to get is the money you are paying employee able to get them a proper shelter? Is it able to get them proper food or enough food? Are you able to give, if it's about medicine, are you able to give them maybe a medical scheme? So that is what how we link it to management. So after the employees feel comfortable with this, now they start thinking of security or safety needs. And these are the needs to be free of physical danger and the fear of losing job, property, food or shelter. It also includes protection against any emotional harm. So what you find, even in employees now, after they get the job and they're able to fulfill these needs, the next motivation is ensuring that their job is secure, or what we call job security. They'll now start ensuring, or they will aspire that the job that they have will be permanent. So that is when we say fear of either physical danger, or especially when we come now to management, what usually applies here is the job security. After employee now get the security and they are assured that they are secure, they start aspiring for another level of need, a higher level need. And it will only come after they are comfortable with the security need. And that need is social need. And this one, you can say, since people are social beings, they need to belong and be accepted by others. People try to satisfy this need for affection, acceptance, and friendship. So this is in an organization, this is where now you'll find people forming some informal groupings. You find them forming other groupings apart from what they really have in the organization. So apart from having groupings, maybe in departments, you see employees forming other informal groups like welfare groups. You find them forming maybe sports group whereby they can go and do maybe a sports or a recreational facility, because now at these groupings, that is where they will socialize. And they only come to this, I've said, after they satisfy their safety needs. Now they have satisfied their social needs. After they feel now they have already satisfied their social needs, they'll feel the need or motivation to go to the next level of needs, which is esteem needs. They'll feel motivation to go to the next level of esteem needs. And let's see what is in esteem needs. According to Maslow, once people begin to satisfy the need to belong, they tend to want to be held in esteem, both by themselves and by others. This kind of need produce such satisfaction. So this is the need for power, esteem, need for prestige, need for status, and the need for self-confidence. So you start now seeing people, they need some power, a powerful office, they need a prestige, something that will show them some status. They need now to feel confidence about themselves, and that this confidence will come out of this prestige or status. It includes both internal esteem, factors like self-respect, autonomy, and achievement. This is now when the employees want to feel that they have achieved something, or they have some recognition, or they are having some attention. So this one, I don't know, in employment setup, this one now, I can say it can come in form of maybe getting to a level, maybe promotion to a level that you feel you have some power. You have some power. Maybe an office that you feel it comes with some prestige. Now you have fulfilled your social needs. That is now when it comes here. You've maybe getting a position that you feel has some prestige or power in it. After you fulfill this, you can see now, if you look at that diagram, it goes on reducing, meaning even there are very few people at this level as compared to social needs. After that, if you're able to go through this and feel you have really achieved, and you have really achieved all the esteem that you need, that is now the time a person starts aspiring to be self-actualized. And I told you, there are very few people who can say they are self-actualized. That is being whom you want to be. So Maslow regards this as the highest need of this hierarchy. Self-actualization, it is the drive to become what one is capable of becoming. It includes growth, achieving one's potential. I don't know. If you get to this level and you feel that you have achieved all you wanted to be, and self-fulfillment. It is to maximize one's potential and to accomplish something, or maybe everything that you wanted to accomplish. If you're able to accomplish everything that you really wanted in life, then you can say you are self-actualized. And I think that is why the pyramid for that is very small, because I think very few people have really reached this hierarchy or really reach get to this point of this level. So I think we are through. There's something I want us to discuss. The cut. When should we have the cut? The cut next week. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge all these sets of notes. I'm going to merge them all. Then maybe I send to the class, or I put when you see merged principles of management notes, no, it is the whole set. I can also send one set to the class rep when it is merged. Then I can also give you an assignment. I want you to do theories of leadership. Theories of leadership. You can write somewhere. Theories of leadership. You can't hear me. Oh, that's. So can we have our cut next week or the other week? Next week is. Next week will be 4th. The other week will be 11th. So are you prepared for the cut next week or 11th? Leadership theories. You can write research about leadership theories.